Great day, agents. This is Jessica Sitomer, your Director of Training. I am here with you on one of my favorite things to do with all of you, and that is the live Q&A on Friday. So I just wanted to wish you all a good morning and good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you are, because we go all the way from the western west of coast, which is Hawaii, all the way to the UK. And so we're in a lot of different time zones. Let's see. This is our topic for today. I usually get a good morning or two, so I'm just wanting to make sure that you can see my screen and you can hear me. Richard, if you're on, you can say hello, or Joyce, if you're on, you could say hello. Okay, I got my good mornings. Thank you. We're good, y'all. Okay. All right, so this is our topic for today. We are going to be discussing habits. I always start the broadcast off with a short topic that I do for about 10 minutes. And then we get into your questions that you put into that chat box, right? Where you are writing good morning, everybody, like Renee and Tracy. That is where you would write your questions. Oh, see, there's Richard. I knew it. Until I hear from Richard, it's not real. So after that, you're going, oh, Lucy's from the UK. Hello. So after that, you are going to ask questions, and I will do my best to answer as many as possible. And I usually take those questions that are the most broad, that apply to the most agents, versus something very specific that is happening for you personally with one trip with 3 people going to Jamaica on this day and their bag is lost. So that kind of thing we stay away from. Something that is so specific that would be more of a customer service question versus a general learning question. So let's talk about habits. And this is a topic I've been very focused on recently. So it's fresh in my mind, and I'm seeing it if you're saying, where's the chat box? You are in the chat box. If you are, because it's top of my mind, I'm seeing it in a way that it now applies to you, the agents. So this is something I want to bring up, because a lot of us think that, we're working so much and we're working so hard, but it's not always. If you were to look at what somebody else is doing, you get more of an idea of like, oh, maybe I'm not working as hard as I thought, or oh, wow, I'm working super hard. So sometimes it is good to compare not the success that someone else is having to your success. That's always going to be different. But if you can compare what people are doing, how they're working compared to what you're doing, then I can't expand my slides, because when I do that, I can't see questions and answers, and it messes everything up. I've tried, but I'm sorry. I apologize for that. So I have to leave it exactly the way it is. Luckily, unless you're on a phone, which I hope you're on a computer, it should be pretty decent for you to see on a computer. So habits, these are the things that you do every single day at the same time, if possible, to the point that, because it's like the things in your life that you don't even think about. If you have to drive your kids to school every morning at 8 a.m., that's a habit. Like, it's not up for negotiation. It's not something that well, maybe today I won't drive them to school. Maybe I'll just let them stay home. Like, that's not an option. There are certain things that you do every day at a certain time. If you have an office job that you need to punch a time clock and get in there at 9 a.m. and leave at 5 p.m. Working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. My voice is not ready for singing Dolly Parton yet to y'all, so you're gonna just get a, a, a little sing-songy version of it. Working 9 to 5. Okay, that's the best I could do for you. So those are the things that are considered non-negotiables. Those are habits. You know that you are going to be at work at 9. You know that you are going to leave at 5. Now, you want to look, since you are an entrepreneur when it comes to your travel business, you want to create habits. So this is how you can really start creating amazing habits. Now, this is a brand new concept to me. Well, I shouldn't say brand new. It's something I probably used 20 plus years ago. Okay. Before I had my first iPhone, I used daily planners every year. And I used to keep them because I used them for my taxes. So I had pocket planners for every year and I kept them in a drawer. And when the year would end, I would take out the yearly planner and put in my new one. And this has recently been reintroduced to me because there is something about writing it down, using your hand to, someone says they still use a planner, see? And it's actually really good for your brain. Something that anybody who is under 60 at this point, I mean, you can start at 60 and up, and that's great. But something that people who are under 60 at this point might not be thinking about memory at all. You might not be thinking about memory. But when you hit, I mean, like, please, I've hit 50 and I'm already like, what did I do this morning? Okay. So one of the reasons why this is happening, our memory is being affected earlier and earlier in our life compared to parents and grandparents, is that we have become a very digital world. And what I mean by that is I can tell you what my phone number was when I was 6 years old and lived in Hartsdale, New York. It was 914-723-7291. I can tell you what my phone number was in New Rochelle when I was growing up my entire life until I moved out of the house to go to college. And even then I moved home for a year. That was 914-725-4054. Then I lived in California for 20 years. I had a 323 number, but I only know that because it's the area code. I cannot tell you what my phone number was when I lived in California. I moved to Florida for 8 years. I had a landline. I can't even tell you what the area code was. That is how little I paid attention to phone numbers. Why? Because all I had to do was ask Siri to call. Okay? And it's interesting because, I've been focusing on these habits for the last week, and I'm doing a program for 3 weeks on it, a coaching training program. And it's interesting because just 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I did an Instagram post where I was teaching you how to use Alexa and Siri to be your personal assistants. And I was, I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was the smartest thing in the world, to have Siri remind me, I had to remember to give my sister's and my parents' dog medicine. So I asked Alexa to set a timer to give Buster medicine at 4 p.m. So not only did the timer go off at 4 p.m., but it also told me it was for Buster's medicine. And thank goodness, because if it hadn't, I would have been like, why is that timer for Alexa's going off? Because Alexa is not I didn't put it in my calendar. So I am completely reliant on the calendar in my phone, which syncs to my iPad and my computer. And if it's not in there, and I wake up in the morning, I wake up the night before, I go into my calendar and I set all of my alarms to remind me for all the things I have to do that day. And sometimes my alarm will go off and I'll have to look in my calendar to see why is that going off. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I totally forgot I had to do that today. So I am not suggesting that you get rid of technology because I can't live without it. I need it synced. I need it like so that, listen, it's the same thing with directions. I lived in Las Vegas for 2 years and I don't know my way around. Why? Because I haven't had to learn the street names. I haven't had to learn how to get from one place to another because my Google Maps tells me or my Waze tells me and it sings it to me in boy band voice. But what is this doing to our brains? It is not forcing us to think in new ways, to learn new ways to get places, to, figure out, the street signs. It is not teaching us to remember things that we must do on a daily basis, habits. So I see people are saying, story of my life. Planners are great to remind. So true. It makes us lazy. Yes and no when it comes to making us lazy. It's not necessarily making us lazy. In a sense, it's making us more productive because we have all these electronic things reminding us of things so we could do other things. So we are like uber productive. Like if you look at my planner, I've got something at every minute of every day, except when I'm sleeping. And even then, I'm asking my dreams to please, on an unconscious level, let go of things that aren't serving me. So I'm having these crazy, wild anxiety dreams. And then I wake up in the morning to do a meditation to let go of the negative feelings from my dreams because that was my dreams working for me. So I am literally working my brain 24 hours a day. However, it might not be in a productive way to move my brain forward in future years. So I've gotten back to now I have my planner, which I look at what's in my calendar in my phone and I write it down. The important things I write down because when you do think it to ink it, and I'm taking this from the Mayo Clinic and the Cleveland Clinic. I did not come up with this stuff, they did. If I write it down with my hand, it's setting off different lights in my brain. It's using a different part of my brain, the part that grows and maintains your memory. So if you're watching this in your 20s, if you're like a young entrepreneur, 20s, 30s, or we're getting into more middle 40s, 50s, 60s entrepreneurs, or if you're like a later in life entrepreneur, 70s, 80s, 90s. So we're like kind of breaking it up by teens, like because if you're 18, you can get into business. Teens, 20s, and 30s, you're early. 40s, 50s, 60s, you're mid. 70s, 80s, 90s, you're rocking your later life entrepreneurial experience. Wherever you are, doing these type of habits are going to help you throughout your life build a memory source, build a source. These habits build a source that when you get a little older and you're getting more forgetful because it's natural with age for that to happen, the thing that will stay in place are the habits that you create today. So how do you create a habit? Well, you in your planner have your non-negotiables. Those, just using the planner, by the way, is a habit. And you want to check your you want to check your planner 3 times a day, minimum. If you're like me, you'll be checking it every hour to see what you're supposed to be doing. And that's fine because having the planner becomes your habit. And when, as you get older or as you become so habitual with your travel business, sometimes you're going to find, ooh, I need to shake things up a bit. I'm a little stuck in my habits with my travel business. And you'll notice that when you look and you see, I'm not doing anything new for my travel business. I need to shake it up a little bit. So what you do is you have your non-negotiables, and I have those in green. Now, what you might do for, like you might highlight the non-negotiables in your book, okay, in your planner. And then other things like do research for a client, send quote to the ACE family. Those are things that will be in your daily planner, but those are not things that you're going to do every day, but those are things that you want to set a time to so you don't forget. Most planners come with a to be done list, which might be things like watch a Friday Q&A replay. So there's no specific time that you have to do that during the day. You're just going to do it when you have an hour. So you'll check that off when you've done it. And then the notes section for something like cool that you heard me say today. And you're like, ooh, let me quote that. Think it, ink it. All right, you might write that down in your notes section of your journal. Okay, then these blue ones are going to change daily, whatever it might be. So you're going to do research for a client at 11. Well, maybe you send a quote to the ACE family and they need you to make some updates. So tomorrow, or so maybe at 10 p.m., you're making those updates if you can. You're going to add that into your calendar. And then the next day at 8 a.m., you're going to, you check your hot deals. And then at 8:30, because you don't have to spend hours checking hot deals in your InteleTravel page. That's just something you're going to check on the daily. But at 8:30, you're going to put in send new quote to ACE family. Okay, so then you're going to check mark everything when it's done. This is, again, getting you into the habit of looking into your planner, checking it off. Because if you don't look in the planners to check it off, like I did yesterday, I realized I skipped lunch, y'all. I was so busy, I skipped lunch. Or if I'm going to be completely transparent and honest with you, which is completely embarrassing, if you really want to know, what I did was I snacked on dark chocolate covered almonds. Now, granted, there's protein and antioxidants in it, but why did I pick that? Because the caffeine in it gives me energy. And since I skipped lunch because I didn't think about it, I was low energy and I ate chocolate covered almonds. So basically, that was my lunch yesterday, but I did not check it off because that does not count as lunch. That is not a nutritional lunch. But I wouldn't have even realized I skipped lunch if I hadn't looked in my habits, which makes me realize I need to put my meals in my habits. For some people, you might have to put AM, afternoon, and PM medications in your to-do list, your action. Like maybe you don't have a specific time because you have to take them with a meal. These are the little things that are going to go on in your daily life to make your travel life work. Okay, so then you might put in these Friday webinars as a don't miss. So every other Friday, once you get that email from InteleTravel, you are going to go and you're going to put it in at 9 a.m. PST, 12 p.m. EST. Please don't make me do other time zones. It's like math. I don't do them in public. So you will put those in. Maybe the 6 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays when your webinars are, or for you East Coasters, 9 p.m. You put those in. Maybe every evening you're going to do an engagement post in your stories. So now, every morning, if you do reach outs to new people, because you want to meet new people, so you're always creating new relationships. If anybody gets back to you from that new reach out, then maybe 4 p.m. are your follow-ups. Now, if you're doing 50 to 100 reach outs a day, which is what I do, by 4 p.m., I might not have 30 reach outs just from my 9 a.m., but I will have 30 follow-ups every single day because of all the reach outs I've been doing in the past. Some people get back to me. I work on LinkedIn, for new reach outs because I feel like I have exhausted my Facebook. I have over 4,000 friends, and through the years, I have reached out to them on a regular basis. If you have not exhausted Facebook, I highly recommend Facebook. It's amazing. There are people who do great with reach outs on Instagram. I'm not as savvy on Instagram with hashtags and all that good stuff. Like, to me, I find it harder to create quick connections with people. Whereas with LinkedIn, you have to send them a message. Well, you don't have to, but if you want to work smart with LinkedIn, then you're going to send a message. And with that message, they have to accept your request to connect. So if they've requested your message, then you know that they have read it and you can then reach out to them. So by doing 50 to 100 of those a day, and I used to think that I should do 2 touches a day was what I was initially taught with marketing to people. Then I was told 10 reach outs a day. And that is what I did for 7 years. And then this year, or I'm sorry, in 2020, starting in March, I realized I had to up my game. And in the past, I was given a challenge to win a prize. It was a reach out challenge for 3 days. Whoever had the most reach outs won an incredible prize, which was VIP on this trip, all the stuff. I reached out to about 788 people in 3 days across Facebook, LinkedIn, and my phone doing texts. So if I could do 788 in like 48 hours, then I realized I could do 50 to 100 a day. So I made that switch in March, and I have been doing 50 to 100 a day. There are a few days that I have missed doing that many. There have even been, like, when I've been on a 3-day van trip where I haven't done any reach outs because I didn't have cell signal. And I'll tell you, you can absolutely see a pattern with where it drops off on my follow-up days, like 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later, I'll only have like 5 people reaching back out to me. And that's because of those 3 days that I saw slump. So it really motivates you to stay consistent. So you're going to check off everything that is done, and then you're going to put a star next to your important tasks. Okay, so sending this quote to the ACE family, that's an important task. I had a Zoom one-on-one meeting with somebody where I was talking to her about something. So in your case, that would be, talking to somebody about a quote. You would do a Zoom quote so that you can see their reactions to when you tell them that the trip is going to cost them $1,000 a person. If their eyes grow wide and they slump their shoulders, you know that that's too expensive for them and they're freaking out a little bit. If they are like, what? And they practically fall out of their chair, then you know that they were expecting to spend a lot more, and now you can start upselling some, specialty dinings and some excursions and Beyonce concert, that you can get on golden tickets. So you really want to be doing these initial quote discussions on Zoom. So because she had a great reaction, I saw on Zoom, I want to make sure yesterday that I did a follow-up note to her. And I talked about some personal things that we talked about. And then I asked her, what her thoughts were, what she was thinking, A, B, or C. So that would be a star. I wanted to make sure I got that follow-up out to her the next day. I did not want to wait If I had done it earlier in the day, I would have done it that evening. So you can get really specific, and by writing this stuff down and writing notes to yourself, keep this next to your bed. So when you wake up in the morning, it's the first thing you look at rather than your phone, which is an electronic, right? First thing you look at. And although maybe you might have a routine, which I actually do, I have a ritual in the morning where, like, you can call it saying your prayers or doing a meditation. And I journal for 5 minutes and I read 10 pages of a personal growth book, whether it be something for motivation or whether it be something I'm learning or whether it be, and I always read my Good Morning and Good Night by Lin-Manuel Miranda, because he says something, or just a really cute thing to inspire you, like, look in the mirror, that's my best friend, give her a kiss because she's gorgeous, do your day. I'm like, ooh, that's great. And at night, he's like, looking in the mirror, looking a little tired, but had a good day, get some Z's, good night. So it's a really cute book. I highly recommend it. And I've been reading it every single day since it was given to me as a gift 4 years ago. So I've gone through that book multiple times. But it still lights me up when I read it, except for the one with the little dolls in it, those dolls that are cupped inside and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. For some reason, that's the one Good Morning, Good Night that I don't like. And maybe it's because I know I'm getting to the end of the book. Like, I know when I see that one, I'm almost done, but it's okay because I get to start again. So anyway, we've been talking about this for 26 minutes, and that was my topic for today. So I am going to go into your questions now and see what we've got here. Let's see. Oh my gosh, someone says, I'm 66 and remember using an atlas. I still love using it on a trip and taught my grandson how to use it as well. That's amazing. It's kind of like when people joke around and they're like, hey, remember when we used to use the Encyclopedia Britannica Encyclopedia? Or remember when we had to go get the dictionary to learn how to spell something? Now we just say, hey, Alexa, how do I spell neighbor? And she'll spell it for us. I mean, we have gotten so dependent on our technology, which, don't get me wrong, is an amazing thing. But now I would love for you, if you have any concern for your future memory or for staying sharp, or just to, I mean, like, you use different parts of your brain. And if you want to mix it up, I highly suggest. What kind of planner do I recommend? I don't know yet. I haven't researched it because the one I'm using is through the Mayo Clinic. I'm actually doing research and I'm like digging into this as a coach. So I'm able to give back to you as my peeps. And I'm also probably going to train our staff on this as well. So let's see. So, but you want to look for one that works for you. As I said, I really like the ones that have a monthly planner that has your daily scheduled events on the left side. So let me just quickly go back to this so I can show you what it looks like. It has daily planner on the left side, and then on the right side, it would have your tasks that are the things that have to be done during that day, but not at a specific time. So if it doesn't get done, if you don't check it off, you can move it to the next day. And notes for something that you would just like, you need to remember. And then at the back of your little booklet, you would have a yearly, so a 2021 yearly calendar. So if you had to write something for March or for May, if you have like a trip that's booked out, or if you're trying to remember clients' trips, you might want to even take out a wall calendar, for a monthly wall calendar for remembering your clients' trips. You might have one for you and a completely separate one for your clients so that you can see it every day. And you might have use different color markers or for different families, in that month. So you can see how many things you have going on simultaneously. This would be such good practice for your brain. I love it. All right. Oh my gosh, your Alexa just spelled, I won't say it again. That is, I mean, it's hilarious. his Alexa literally just spelled the word that I asked it to. And probably everyone's Alexas are going weird because they're hearing me just say, oh my God, hers just answered me too. See? Oh my God, everybody is doing it. It's so funny. All right. So now I'm going to get to your questions. Somebody said, Jessica, are we allowed to charge a research fee? And if so, how do you accept payment for it? I've been seeing people posting that they do it and they charge via PayPal, Venmo. So the answer to that is yes. You are allowed to charge a research fee. And this is how we suggest it through InteleTravel, that you say, and this is really for you're either going to do it, if you're a brand new agent, you're only going to do it if it's somebody who seems to be a tire kicker. Like they're not really, they're not letting you fill out a customer, let me show you while I say it. Okay, so on your dashboard, you have a customer profile form, right? So every new customer should be filling this out. If they're not willing to do this for you, they're not taking your time very seriously. They're just kind of, oh, let's see what she can do for me. What? No. You want serious people who really want to go on a trip. So if they're not willing to do this for you as a new agent, okay? Because as a new agent, there's a learning curve. And you might want to just, absolutely don't charge fees, when you're brand new, because, you're learning too. However, if you are new and you're getting a lot of people who are just using you to see what prices you can get them and then going and booking it themselves, that can be extremely discouraging. So in that case, you might want to charge a research fee, and you say, my research fee is $40. However, that gets applied to your trip. So when you book, the $40 goes toward your trip. So if they are serious about booking, they're not going to have a problem with that because they're planning on booking something. So they're going to, use that $40 anyway. However, if they don't book anything for whatever reason, at least that hour or two that you spent researching to do the initial research, you made $20 an hour or $40 for the 1 hour. Okay. And then if you are a seasoned agent, you might be charging a research fee for new clients, not for existing clients, because existing clients are booking with you. So there's no reason to charge them, right? But if you are a seasoned agent who has a full plate and new people see how great you are and they're like, oh, I'd love for you to be my travel agent. Well, I have $100 research fee, which gets applied to your vacation. Because anyone who's serious about booking a vacation for, more than, even for themselves, it's going to cost at least $100. So as long as it's being applied, if they're serious, they will pay that $100 fee to a seasoned agent. Okay, but those are the only two times I would recommend charging a fee. That is when you are brand new and you think you have a tire kicker, or if you are seasoned and didn't get it. So let me see something. Please. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting an emergency text from Tara regarding our giveaway at 1:43 your time, live on the Facebook page. Oops, I don't have it. Okay, so just want to make sure that we have that for you all. Okay, now, should you be a new agent who has somebody who refuses to give you any information and they just want you to work there, offer you, and you want to charge a research fee, or if you're a seasoned agent who can, who really does not have time to take on anybody unless they are for serious, and you can even say to them, well, I charge $100 fee and only work with people who have $1,000 budget or more. Like you could do something like that if you're a seasoned agent who really does not have the time. But if they're like, oh, well, we want to book a $10,000 faith-based trip, or we want to book a $20,000 Africa tour. Well, okay, I will find the time to work with you. Those are A-list problems, as we call them in Hollywood. Okay, so how would you charge this fee? So this is now not related to InteleTravel, because InteleTravel, the only time you are allowed to take money is when you are booking travel for them. And the only way to take money is by using this credit card authorization form. They must fill this out. So if they say that they want to pay through Venmo, okay, so I have a corporation, by the way. I am a corporation. I'm a coach outside of here, and I have some businesses. So I have a corporation that all of them fall under. All right, and my corporation is the Greenlight Coach. So if somebody wants to book travel with me, I cannot have them Venmo me and put that into my Greenlight Coach account and then pay Carnival Cruises. Nope. What I do is I get this customer authorization form. They pay me, like not pay me, but they're giving me this InteleTravel customer authorization form with their credit card information. It's the only way we're allowed to accept money. Credit card is the only way. They give me that, I pay Carnival. Then InteleTravel has my Greenlight Corporation information, my paychecks, whatever it's called, that they pay us virtually, goes to the Greenlight Coach, and that goes into my Greenlight Coach bank account. Now, if I wanted to charge a fee because I have a corporation, somebody can send $30 to my Greenlight Corporation PayPal, okay? Because that is done legally. I have a corporation that they are allowed to pay to. If they are giving you, let's say Samantha, who can't wait to get new clients, Samantha is going to just start asking people to give her $20 to do research for her, and they hand her a 20. And by the end of the year, so many people have handed her $20 that she's made over $600 in fees, but she doesn't have a corporation. She's not paying taxes or anything on those fees, which is illegal. Now, I am not a tax person, so anything I'm saying right now, I'm saying with a disclaimer, because I can't say that anything I'm saying to you is a fact and you should use it on your forms. All I'm telling you is, if you want to start charging fees, please talk to a free small business development center where you live. They are free. Just Google them. Hey, Alexa, find a small business center in my area of Texas, in Austin. So all of you guys are going to have your Alexas now finding you. I'm going to have fun with you all from now on. I'm going to just talk to your Siris and your Alexas. Okay. So the bottom line is, if you want to do this, you must do it legally. And to accept money for your business, you must have either an LLC or an S Corp or a D, I don't know. I don't know how. So talk to a small business development, talk to a financial planner, talk to a tax expert. Don't listen to IntelliJess, except when she says, talk to an expert, okay? So those are the ways that you would do it. All right, by the way, all of this is recorded and will be put into the InteleTutorial section of your, so education, education InteleTutorial library, under advisor support webinars. This is where all of our Q&As go. And I do a different topic. So if you're new to me and you want to go look through the topics, let's see what we talked about last time. Intake to finish, how to collect contact info, how to share a quote, book, and pay. That's what we talked about last time. What did we talk about the time before that, or 2 times before that? We talked about you can't win feeling scared, how to use our marketing materials to bring positivity to people with newsletters, e-postcards, and social media posts. Okay, so these are just some of the topics. Then if you see after that, so 2 times ago, planning a quick 3 to 5 day getaway for people. So a lot of people are afraid to travel, right? They don't want to get into an airplane, or they're not allowed to go overseas to certain places, but you can plan 3 to 5 day quick getaways for them, and I show you how in this one. But what other questions did I answer? How do I create my own flyer for a getaway? Can we book ski trips? How do I register for Club Med? How do I get certified in specialty like groups? What is the best way to promote deals in the UK from our suppliers? How do I book a train? Does Shore Excursions Group? See, these are all the things I talked about. Okay. How did you create the InteleJess Facebook cover? The InteleJess Facebook cover. So I do this. So if you click here, it tells you about me. You see? So you can do your bio here. So, and I made up some stuff. So my InteleJess is just for you agents. I only talk about things that will help me. So like people were asking, what do I create to get people to sign up for my website? Like, how do I get them to, so you can create, so this is what I use. I use, when people register on my website for my email, they get a conversation igniter. And it's how to do coffee talks, which you can do virtually right now. So what you can do is you can go into Canva and you can create, so I created this in Canva, you can create a travel, like a travel, checklist, what to pack when you're traveling, checklist. And then you can make a pretty, don't show them the checklist so that they can print it out themselves, make a cover for it. So let's say we're going to go to Canva, okay. So I think we closed the topic of, so what I was saying is this is going to be recorded today. So anyone who wanted me to repeat what I said about the research fee, just rewatch this. All right, so we are going to make social media. We're going to do, no, that's not what I want to do. I want to do a face, let's see, I want to do a template for an Instagram story. No, that's not what I want to do. I just want to do for Instagram post. Okay, I'm going to take, let's see, this costs money. This one, I want to be a little bit more, let's do this. I like this one, travel posts. Okay, so here we have, I'm going places. So let's put get my free packing checklist. Up here, want to know what to pack when you travel? Oops. And then register for my website at www.yourname.InteleTravel.com. Okay, now normally you would download this, but because for sake of time, I'm just going to do a screenshot of it. And I'm going to go back to my Facebook page, and on today's Q&A. I'm teaching how to get people to register for your website. And now I want to add a picture. I'm going to go into my recents, and it's this one. Want my free, and you can call it what to pack checklist. Register for my website in the link in first comment. Now, why do I say in the link in first comment? Because the Facebook algorithms don't like when you're leading people away from Facebook, and this will not get seen by as many people. But if I post this, and then I write for learning purposes only, here is where you would post your link. Okay, that's where you would post your link. And then it would, like, you know, let's say I was to do, I'm just going to show you www.jessicasitomer.com. If I post my link, this is what happens. Give it a second. Oh, that's weird. Oh, there it is. Okay, so this is what will happen with your InteleTravel link. Okay, so you would put that in your first link, and I don't want people to, I'm not putting it in the first link because I don't want people to register on my InteleTravel link and think they're going to get a packing checklist, and they're not. So then you might say, well, how are they going to get that packing checklist if they register for my app? Well, if you have it, then they've registered their email. So in the beginning, and we're getting into some high concept stuff here for some of you, in the beginning, you're literally going to email it to them. You are going to go to your email. Oh, my email is not opened, but let's see if I can get that timeline. I'm going to put that down. Okay, so let's say I'm writing an email. I'm going to write, dear, let's see one of our wonderful agents here. I see Damien. Dear Damien, thank you so much for registering for my website. Here is the packing list I promised. And remember to always travel with a travel advisor in your pocket. Oops, pocket. That's me. And then you'll have whatever other info. And then let's go back to Canva. And if we look under my designs, I'm pretty sure I have a packing list here. Well, you know what? We don't have to do that. Let me just do this. Packing list. See if they have something like that. Things to pack for hiking. My things to bring. Packing sheet. So let's see if we have anything for vacation. The pack light list. So the out of town trip list. So I am just going to just copy this as if I had made it my own. Okay. And I'm going to go back to my Word doc, which is pretending it's my email. And then I'm going to send this out as an email. Now, when you get more advanced, when people register on my website, they go to my MailChimp. And MailChimp has, let me log in. I know what to do. I have to accept my cookies. Log in. And MailChimp has something called I want to search for a landing page. Oh, I was searching on ad campaigns. That's not what I need to be doing. Let's go to MailChimp help. Okay. MailChimp support options. Oh, that's what I wanted. Free landing pages. Free landing pages. So what will happen is through MailChimp, and you can start off, I believe, with a free account if you have like a small number. Like I have thousands on mine, so I have to pay for mine. But you can start off, start building, and it shows you how to create a landing page. And what that means is, when you create a landing page, okay, so since we don't have a lot of time and I'm not going to create it, I'm going to go to my other buddy, Google. Okay, normally on this training, after what we discussed, I would go to my encyclopedia and pull out how to create a landing page. But let's face it, we don't have encyclopedias anymore, and they certainly don't have how to create a landing page. So you know what, even better than Google, I'm going to call my boyfriend, who's so smart. His name is YouTube, and I'm going to put in there how to create a landing page in MailChimp. Look, they've got it right there. All you all have to do is watch one of these for free, okay? And you can learn how to make a great landing page. Now, if you're wondering, what is a landing page? A landing page is something that when they register, now listen, this does not happen on your InteleTravel website. So therefore, you are going to have to email people individually. Or I wonder if you can use it through your newsletter. I'm not sure because I don't know if we'll be able to put a picture in there by now. So we're going to our marketing and sales tools. Going to our newsletter. Let's see if that has been updated at all. Client newsletter, get started. Can I add, let me see, recents. Trying to find, let's see, a dot. No. Oh gosh, why isn't it showing me my recents? Let me show my downloads. How about that? All right, what is this? Okay, we can use that. Can I put a picture in? No, so you can't even use it with your newsletter. We're working on that. We're working on getting you so you can put attach a photo. Right now you can attach hot deals. So the way to use this right now is either to just individually, when everyone registers for your InteleTravel website, to send them a personal email, which is so nice, and they love that. Or you can have a domain website like I do, jessicasitomer.com. And when I go to that, that is where they would join my mailing list, and they get my Conversation Igniter, 10 conversations that will help you talk to anyone. So that's the igniter that they're getting there. And when that happens, it automatically goes to my MailChimp, and my MailChimp automatically has the landing page that sends them that Conversation Igniter. okay? And so that is how it works. So you can go and get your name.com or your travel agency name.com, but you are not allowed to use the word InteleTravel. You cannot use the name InteleTravel in your own domain name, except for the one that we have given you. So in other words, travel, let's go. By the way, you can copy anything I've written here. I don't sell travel. I only have this on my website as an example for you. So you can make this your own. You can change it up. I do blogs here. And by the way, these blogs, this blog right here, guess where I got it? Dun, 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 straight from your InteleTravel blog, word for word, your InteleTravel blog. That's where I got it. So word for word, I use that blog, but what I did was I changed the picture. We cannot use the pictures on InteleTravel's blog because they paid money to license it. So let me see, leisure travel. And what was this one called? How to protect yourself when you're traveling. So let's see what they used. It's probably an older one. How to protect yourself when you're traveling. Next. So this is good. Look how many things you have to choose from. You could be blogging once a week. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh, this is way older than this because I did this a long time ago. So next. Wow. These are awesome. You can use all of these word for word. Just don't use the picture. All right. Maybe it's under business travel. Let's try business travel. Okay. I've used this one, 6 ways to avoid getting sick. Here's how to protect your stuff while you travel. So word for word, this is what mine says. Everything that's here under read more. But instead of using this bicycle picture, which InteleTravel paid money to use, I used my own picture. Oops, that's my Instagram. Where is it? I used my own picture. How do I get free pictures, you ask? Good question. Free pictures that you do not have to pay for. Unsplash.com. And I want to pick something that has to do with travel because that's what I use. Look at all these cool pictures you can use. Now, if you want to be really nice and pay it forward, you can do @Annie Spratt and give her credit on your blog. All right. Or if you use her picture on Instagram for one of your travel posts, you just do use the little camera icon and go and say photo credit @Annie Spratt. That is the nice thing to do. That is what you would want someone to do if they were sharing one of your posts. Let's say you come up with a really clever travel quote and you have your name on it. So I do branded quotes on Canva. Where's Canva? I'm giving you a ton of stuff in like the last 10 minutes. Don't worry. If you want me to expand on any of it, hold on. If you want me to expand on any of these topics, what topics do you want? When I'm rushing with what happens, do you want for live Q&A? And let's put something pretty on that. What is this? Cameras, that could be travel. All right, so anything that like I started talking about today that you wanted me to deeper dive into, put it on the comments here and I will get to it. So let's go back to my Canva and Canva, and let's go to home and we're going to go to my designs. So we want to see all of them. So let me find some. So this is how I created my LinkedIn. This is my LinkedIn top. And look, it's all cameras, right? And showing my lifestyle. So let's see, there's our ambassador. So you can see all the stuff I do, but I'm looking for a branded quote. Branded quote. They're further back. Let's see. Okay, here's a branded quote. No longer is a travel agent an option. A travel agent is a necessity. So I have my name, quote. Now, this isn't one of my prettier ones. This is just a basic one. All right, but now, okay, so so, you know, you can, let's see, I could change the template to make this more exciting. All right, I don't know. This might be something that we go into at a later date because it is now, I think I've even done branded templates, but if it's been a while, we could go back and do that. But it is now top of the hour, so I need to say goodbye. But before I do, if there are any questions I have not answered for you, then please go to your knowledge base. And these would be InteleTravel questions, not marketing questions, because you're not going to find that there. Or go to Facebook and go to the InteleTravel Agent Departure Lounge. And if you're in the US, it would be this one. If you're in the UK, we have a different one. And you can ask your question here or search if somebody has already asked that question. All right, so that's it for today. Everyone have a great weekend. And for those of you who I'm going to see on Dreammaker tomorrow, woo, woo, very excited for Dreammaker tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.